Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on Upptalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say Upptalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Today, day 7, we are going to cover these 5 things. First, we will see the clipboard. This is the thing which we started yesterday, but just a glimpse part. Today, we will go more in detail. Then, we will also add the code to copy the home address to the work address. If you remember that in the insurance screen, we have added 2 types of address fields that we are trying to add, like normally you see in the applications or in the mobile apps. Then we will see one more topic. Basically, it is a rule that is a data transform. What it is, how to use it. After that, there is a super classing feature in data transform that also we will see. And how to set a default data. Because if you remember, in many applications, you don't have to enter the address again and again, right? Don't have to add your name, add your email. It just you have to enter it once, then it is defaulted. Every time, if you open again, the data will be there. That comes with the default data. This is what we are going to cover in today's agenda. Let's start with the clipboard. Let me zoom this a bit. Yesterday, you have seen that there are 4 types of pages, right? But what exactly a clipboard is? Clipboard basically is a temporary area in the server that is associated with every connected requester. Now, what exactly requester means? Suppose you logged in your personal edition. You are a requester. I logged in with my id. I am a requester. Whoever is logging in to the Pega application through browser. It is a browser-based user. There can be a background job users. Requester is nothing but the operator who is accessing the particular application for the particular requester. There is a temporary area in the server. It is like a normal clipboard where we can copy the things. When you copy the text, it is stored in the Windows clipboard. Similarly, the data which is associated with a particular requester is stored inside a temporary area in the server, which is known as the clipboard. Now, clipboard is divided into 2 parts. Left pane. Let me bring the portal here. If you see the left pane that displays the data for a selected thread, that means whatever you are seeing in the left side, this is related to a thread. Now, thread means this one. At the top, we can set a thread. Whenever you open a case, the case will become your thread. Thread is like whatever is in the active state. Whatever you are opening, that will be your thread. Now the page structure is a hierarchical tree format. All these things are pages in the hierarchical tree format. If I expand, you will have more detail if the page exists. See, inside this portal we have more pages. If I expand this one, this is empty. This one has more pages. It will expand. Now in the right hand side, it contains the names and the values of single value, value list and value group. If for example, if I click here, only the single value list and value group properties will come here. This is the hierarchical tree structure of the pages. And this is the single values. and the data will be coming only for the thread which you will select through this drop down. And all these things are related to our requester. With this requester ID, if you see this requester ID, this is my requester ID. This is just a basic definition of what Clipboard actually is. This is the user page, is actually the user page. Now, what is the user page? User page. As the name suggests, this page contains the pages which are generated by the user actions. For example, when you log in, when you log in, you open the portal. That portal is given by Pega, the out-of-the-box thing I'm talking about. You are doing many clicks. Whatever is the default thing, those will be saved inside this user page. You see d_portal context global. These are out-of-the-box rules. You don't have to bother about it. It will be different with respect to different requester. It is just the base source code. You can say that. As you can see here, it is a top-level page created by normal processing by a particular user. If I am doing something, the user page will contain data related to my interaction. If you open the clipboard, it will contain the data related to your interaction. Now in the data page is a separate concept in Pega where page will hold the data for a certain amount of time that we can reuse it. For example, if let's say this is the data, right? If we want to save it somewhere temporarily, we can save it into a data page and we can reuse it anywhere. After the reuse, we can remove that. But in detail, we will see that because it's a very big topic. Those data pages you can see in the data page. If you see, here we have 3 forms: thread requester and node. This will also cover during that part. Now link property page. Link property page as in whenever you link a property with a particular property reference. For example, let me go to this one. I'll open one property. Let's say I'll open each. The video. Here, if you see, currently age is a type of integer property and data access. It's a manual. That means it is a manual field. But suppose if you want to reference it automatically somewhere from the data type or any data that you want to add here. And the option, it says automatic reference to class instance and linked. If you select this box and give a data source, then this data will be available inside this particular link property page. But in Pega, I haven't seen people here using this thing. It is not usable. It is not that efficient feature in Pega. People don't use it. Even no one uses it. What do they use in place of it? In place of it, they use the data transform. Data transform they use data pages because data pages are also doing the same thing. Right? We can source this data automatically anywhere. that we will see. Now system pages, if you see the definition wise, it is a top level page created during authentication. That means when you log in for the first time into the Pega portal or when you log in through your personal edition where you enter your user ID, you enter password, you click on submit and then Pega check your ID and password with the basic authentication and validates you that yes, you have an access. You can see what is the organization, what is the division, what kind of application you can access, what are your operator details. Those things will come inside the system pages. If I expand, you can see access group application. If I click on application, you see live care. This is the data class. Everything related to the application will be inside this one. If I click on the data operator ID, you can check here operator ID details. Again, these are the default values. Now let's create one case and see how things will come. One thing here as of now, you don't see any case ID right because in my Dev Studio case ID is not there. Let's create one case. ILR1 is a newly created case. I need to close this one and I'll open again from here. You see this time directly in thread, the case ID is coming. That means all this data is now related to this particular case. That means when I created the case, whatever the Pega did in the backend, those things are captured inside the user pages. This is like a default source code. Now, if there is any data page triggered during this part, during my case creation, those will be found inside these. Attachment data page got triggered by default. Case staged data page got triggered. These are again default data types. But if I create something, then also it will be there inside this. Now link property pages, nothing is there. Even Pega don't use it. Now system pages. System page. I don't know why even they are providing this one because they are not using this. Now system pages. System pages will remain same because it is the authentication related details. This is the user page, but if I expand user page, this time you will find PY work page inside user page because this page is because of your action. That's why it will be under user pages. PY work page will contain the case data. That means this case data. For example, let's go to first name. Where is first name? This is the first name. Currently, you see the value is not there. I'll go to case. I'll enter something. Now come back here. I'll try to refresh it. You see, name is coming. Right. That means this PY work page is linked to the case. Let's take one more example. Let me open this. Let's refresh. This time I get 8002. As of now, it will not come because I need to refresh this. I will close, open again, 822. Now PI work page data is not there. I'll go back. I'll enter something. Now I'll set. I filled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 details. Let's go to Clipboard. First name is there. Model is there. Let's refresh. You see, first name is populated. Last name is populated. Phone number and product. I am just want to focus that this PY work page is related to the case. If you want to see how things are getting saved, because sometimes you feel like even you enter data, but it will not come in your case. For example, even you fill here, but once you submit and if you come back, just 1 second, alright, suppose if I fill first name, but it is not getting saved in the backend, that means there is some issue. If data is coming in the UI and it is coming in the clipboard, then only it is confirmed that value is propagated properly. Clipboard is done. The next thing we will check is, as discussed yesterday, that we will create a functionality to copy the address from home property to the work property. But before that, I want you to have a look on the definition of the data transform. If you see what a data transform is a kind of a rule in Pega that converts the data from one form, basically from one source to another form or another target. That is like we have a source field, we have a target field, and if you want to, play with the data between these two, source and target, there you will use the data transform, and it supports clipboard and the JSON format. Clipboard, just now we have seen how clipboard looks, how the clipboard data stored, and how many pages are there. We have one more, that is a JSON format, where exactly we will use which kind of data transform. Because of these, there are two types of data transform. First one is a standard data transform. Standard data transform uses the clipboard data for the processing, and it basically uses Pega internal application data. For example, if I need anything, if I want to, modify anything within the application, then I can use the standard data transform because I am working on the Pega application. And for Pega application, we have the standard data transform. But suppose if I want to integrate with third-party system, which is not a Pega application, in those situations, I will use the JSON data transform. You will find this JSON data transform usage very rare because we are working on a Pega application. Mainly, we will use the standard data transform very rare. It's like you will find this JSON data transform in any of the project. You are good with the definition part. You understood right. Where is why we are using this data transform. Let's jump on to this. location. Here, yes, we have added these two things. What I will do, I will add one checkbox in the right hand side with the label home address, and if I select it, it should copy this street from home to this street. Let's go to this section. Case tag, insured. Whatever we are doing now, right? This is the actual thing that we do in the project, in a live project. Because mainly we have to create sections. We have to see the clipboard. This is the same. Open the process. Open process. Let's open the connector. Open the flow action. Inside flow action, we have a section. I configured in the second shape. I need to go back. I configured in insurance details. Open process. Insurance details. Insurance details. Open process. Insurance details. Connect. Flow action. Let's open this section. This is the backend section. Now we need a checkbox. Let's see where exactly checkbox option is there. Let's see. This is for data display. Checkbox is not there. Let's go to actions. It is not there. Let's go to pickers. Yes, it is there. I'll drag this checkbox to this small area and I'll leave it. Now, if you see checkbox is coming, now I'll open this through this gear icon. Now we need a property for this one. Otherwise, how I will use this thing? Because if there is no property, then I can't use the data. I'll create copy home address. I can click on this icon. It will open a property creation record form. I can verify the name, the class rule set and create and open. Because I want to check this and uncheck. It is not a text property. It is a Boolean property. I have to change the property type and then select true and false. It's a manual entry because I will select it. And UI control is a PX checkbox. That means the UI control will look like a checkbox. If you want like a radio button also, then we can update this one. Or else we can have a separate control. This is created now. I'll go back. I'll check. Yes, it is there. If you note on one thing in PGI, to do even a single thing, we have multiple ways. Because I showed you creating a property from the data type in the data model. From here, you can add a field. You can go to any view and then you can add a field. You can go here inside this inside data model and then you can right click and then you can create a property. From data, from insurance itself, you can go to create, you can go to data model and then you can create property. Even from the top header, you can go to create data model and then property. It is this much flexible that you can create anything from any place. Now let's say we did a caption. I'll keep caption like copy home address. Let's save it once. Let's do a preview. Yes, it is coming like this. You want to copy it. But as of now, if I click or uncheck this one, nothing will happen because there is no code. It's just a UI element that we have added on the section. I'll close this one. Now I'll open this control. If you see, there is one tab actions. All the actions that you want to trigger when you check or uncheck that you can do on the action tab. And this particular actions will be there on everything. If I open on the street, you see the configuration is saved. It will be general presentation action. If you want to add anything extra, you can use this one. Some time back I was telling you, right? If you want to remove that save button, then you want to directly save when you enter the data into that particular field. How can we do it? We can do it through action. That means the same save action which we are doing on save button, I'll replicate it on the street itself. Let's do it on checkbox first. I'll go to action. I'll create a new action set. Now action set consists of two things. And first is an event and one is an action. What kind of events we have? Pega supports these events. Click is an event. Double click is an event. Hover is an event. Right click is an event. Suppose I want click. Whenever you click this action, set will be triggered. Now what action should I do? I need to run a data transform. Because just now we have saw the data transform is used to manipulate the data. Here we are dealing with the data. I'll go to this refresh. If you see one more thing here, when I click, there are two options. That is display refresh and other run data transform. But I am not selecting this one because we need to run the data transform. We should use this one also. But for current situation, no. Because if I run the data transform, the value will be there, but it will not show into that UI. Because in order to show into the UI, we have to refresh the screen. Data transform updates the data into the database. But if we refresh the screen, then only it will pick up from the database. Otherwise, it will show the old data. That's why we are using refresh this section. Inside this refresh this section, we will add one data transform. Let's create. Home address. I'll create from here. Again, you can create data transform from multiple ways. This is one way. Directly you can create. I'll create an open data mold. But I'll show you once. Other ways also. You can go to this create data mold data transform. Again from insurance class. Right click. Create data mold data transform. Right click on data transform also. Again multiple ways. Now we will see all these action items or the methods that we have. But first let's focus on the functionality which we are building. What exactly is source? Let's go to one of the case. A great one. Now, Francis, just tell me what is the source for us. Which one is our source? The source is going to be home address, right? And it's a work address. That means we have to copy from here to here. I'll go to the transform. I'll go to the source. Let's say first, I'm talking about only street. Street. If you see, I'll add dot street. If you remember, it is a page group property because we have passed like dot address, then home. I have to do that. Dot address. This is our source. That means whatever I'll write here, that will be saved at this place in the clipboard. Now the target will be it is same. That's just. Instead of this, it will be work. Let's save it. This is saved. This is already saved. This one I'll select once again and I'll submit and save. Now I will refresh this. Now I will try if this is working or not. I'll see. Roger Street. Let me click. You see, it is copied. Let me remove this. I'll give something else. Pick one. If you see right now, even I'm doing uncheck, it is working because our action is based out of click. They will not understand whether it is true or false. They will only understand if it is a click. Now what we will do? We will refine our logic little more. I'll introduce one more action item for you now. That is when condition. When is like a for loop. We have loops, right? When loop is there in Java also. I can say which property we created. Boolean. Copy home address. Copy this one. When I said is equals to I'll copy this and then paste it inside. Whenever it is true, then only it will copy. And I'll delete this one. I will save now. Now I'll refresh. If I enter something now, and if I click, because it is true, it will copy. But if I remove again here, and if I click again, you see, it will not copy. Because it will only go inside this 1.1. Then this condition will be true. And when this condition will be true, then we select the checkbox. But suppose when I'm selecting, I want to copy. But suppose if I uncheck, this data should be deleted. Otherwise, suppose if I'm filling all these files, then I have to manually delete these things, which doesn't make sense. Let's add another condition. Add sibling below. Here I'll add, let's say, otherwise one condition. If this is not true, then I'll check for one more condition. What that condition is, if this is false, Now if this is false, I want to remove the data. Let's go to actions. We have some method called remove. What I want to remove? I want to remove target street data. Simply copy and paste it. I'll save it now. Now we can say it. If you select that, it will copy source street to the target street. But if you uncheck it, that means it is false. It will remove the target street. Now let's test it. I'll refresh once. I'll enter street. If I check, it should copy it. If I uncheck, it should delete. A small feature is done. You understood, right? Any doubt? If you see whatever we are doing, it's not exactly a programming language. But if you want to see the Java code, then you can go to Actions and you can click on View Java. This is the Java code which Pega is generating for. You see here, act equal wrong, then copy address 1, wrong, the context. Otherwise, when condition, whatever we are doing, we are building a Java code only, but it's just we are not doing it from our side. It's the Pega host doing that. But for us, this one is done. Let's go back. There are certain methods that I like. We have used this set method. We have used remove method. We have used when, otherwise when. Let's see other methods also. Once we have append to method. Append as in where you need one more page inside the target page list. For example, yesterday I gave you an example of employee. Suppose as on date, there are 100 employees. Next, one more employee joined and you want to introduce his data also into the database. What you will do? You will do append then map to. When you append basically add one more record. That means it will append employee 111 record into the database, into that particular page list. And we can update the employee and all those stuff. The main advantage here is in this action method, the source and the target can be different. I will add one more. If I select append then map to, now it is asking for a page list. Suppose I add address page list. You can copy the data exactly to a new page. That means I'll add something like first name, and I'll give like Francis. What will happen? Then it will execute. It will append a new property address. Let's say till now we have only 5 at 6. It will add and it will map your name to this property as will continue. First name is friend. But if I will only use append, that means you can only add a page. You cannot add the child data. That is the difference here. You can either attach a page, you can use the existing page or current page, or you can loop through the page like we have for loop. This is Append and map to. Append, we have seen. Append the page to the target page, this property. Source and target will be same. That's why it is not asking you to add any property, because it is same. Apply layer transform. This method, you can call one layer transform inside another layer transform. This is just to, make the things reusable. For example, you can create, suppose this layer transform only, copy home address. There might be multiple situations in our page application where we have the address. We can create this layer transform, and whoever need this, they can simply call it using this method. They can call this apply layer transform, and then they can select this copy home address in their source code. Except that means for loop. Before this one, we have to go through this. When I said each page in, that means I am looping through the page list. Suppose there is an address list or the employee list. The employee list, there is an employee list. I want to loop through it and I want to check. I will add when condition. Add date of joining equals what it says. It basically loops through the list. Suppose there are 1,000 employees. It will loop through 1,000 records, 1 and it will check for the date of joining. Date of joining is this one. Then we can add anything. We can set a note. We can update the records. We can update anything. This is the usage of each page in. Exit for it is like when you have to exit the loop iteration. Here we are looping through the iteration. And suppose you want whatever the date of joining is 1. You don't want to proceed. You want to exit. You want to exit for each. And suppose if it is anything apart from this particular date, then you want to head. Then you can do like this. And suppose you can say we are looping through employee layers. Wherever the date of joining is this one, we will exit. If it is not, then we will do something. We will have some interaction. Each page it, we will loop, exit for it. We will exit that loop. Otherwise, date transform. Remove. We already applied. That we can delete the target and set is basically used to copy in the data transform terms. We can, it is an action that is used to set the target equal to the source because it's an equal clause in between. So it sort the data. Update page. Suppose there is a, because I showed you viewer work page is a path, right? If you want to update any of the clipboard page, that is the existing one, that time you can use the update page. You can select update page and then you can give, let's say, by both page. You are passing by both page. And then you can give property here first name and then you can any other value from the existing one. That means you are updating first name to this, where the Pi work page will be the source page. This is all about the data transform. Now there is one more feature, that is superclassing. If you see, the small checkbox is there called superclass data transform. Now what this feature exactly is? Before I proceed to this one, I want to check any doubt. Now till now. Now, now it's like now we are going deep into the bigger concepts. Francis concepts will increase. Now we are talking about the big chunks which you will actually go to use in the applications. This is the real-time things. Data transform, you will use a lot. After this, we have the reporting that we will use a lot. Then we have the data pages. These are the things where I want you to, focus for some more time. You can try to implement this thing. All right, let's see the superclassing. In the data, it's just a simple checkbox, but the functionality wise, it is a very big thing. For example, superclass data transform is a feature, and why we use it to set a different default value for the same property within the hierarchy of subclasses. Now there are a couple of terms, for example, different default value for the same property. That means even though the property is same, if you want different default values but within different classes, then you can use superclass data transform. Whenever you execute or whenever you select that particular checkbox to enable the superclass Pega will do these things. What Pega will do? Pega will first identify the parent of the current class. For example, if I go here, or I'll take the example of this one which I prepared. One second, let's go to this one. First, it identify the parent of the current class. Then it identify the next level parent until the highest parent is achieved. That means we are moving from bottom to top. Suppose we are at the top layer, we will find the parent of the top, and then we will follow the same thing until we will reach the highest one. Once the highest is located, then it will find the data transform. Then it will start executing it. As of now, it might be confusing, but that's why we have an example. Let's suppose we need to create a rental case type. Let's go through this one. Let's say we have a parent class, Amazon US Work Claims. Claims is a kind of a department where Amazon is dealing with. Here inside claims, we have two properties, claim date and prefix. And we have a data transform set default, which is setting claim date as 04/2024 and prefix as A. Now Amazon US Work Claim has a child class, which is Amazon US Work, or I'll make this as product. Let's say Amazon is to the real estate now. Amazon is selling the real estate project. Inside this product, we have two things, claim date and prefix. And we have these two values. Inside products, we have one more child, that is a home. Now we are reusing class latent prefix from this one and added address at this level. Now same name data transform we have. We have set default name here. We have set default here. It was setting claim date as this prefix is this because we introduced address also. Now this data transform will add Rogers Street. These two things is coming from here. And this address will come from here. Now suppose we have another child class of home. Inside home, we have rental. Inside rental, again we are using claim, date, prefix, address, and we have introduced one more, that is name. What this data transform will do? It will copy this date and this address and prefix, but name will be added here. And all this is happening because you have created a rental case type. That means when you create a rental case type first, Pega will identify the parent right. As per this step, identify the parent of the current class. If you create a rental, who is the parent? Om is the parent. Now what is the second step? Identify the next level parent until the highest parent is achieved. It will look for more parent level. Again, it will go up. Then it will reach to the product. After that, nothing is there. That means we reach the highest parent level. That is the second step. Now it finds the data transform. Now suppose it got the data transform with the name set default. It executes the data transform. That is our fourth step. Invokes data transform. When it executes the data transform, it will hold this value. But again, it will come down. It will come down and it will hold these two values. And because the address is added newly, it will add new address field. And again, it will come down because we created the case from the rental. And then it will add the name also. This will be the final output. This is what superclassing means. If I disable the superclass, then it will not add claim, state, prefix, and address because we are setting name on this level only. Because these things are coming from the top level. You understood the point? Yes, I. Thank you. Is it confusing? I understand it. You understood it right. Great, great, great. It just, whenever you create a case first, it will check for the parent case. For rented, it is the home for home, it is the product after product. Nothing is there. It will start the execution from here. At this level, we are setting claim date and prefix. We got both of them. There are two things here. First is your data. Transform name should be same. Set default, set default, set default. Your property should be same. The claim date and prefix. Claim date and prefix. Address is added at this level. Address is there. Now here also everything is same. Now name is there. That's why. The level is like first is 3, 2, 1 to reach the top stage. Then execution will happen from 1, 2, 3. First parent, second parent. Then finally the case which you have created. It will go like this. Now let's see the default data. The last topic of the day. by default. I'll close this one. I'll close this. What you can try is maybe you can create in a personal edition, like I did for street right. You can do it for state also, country also, zip code also. You have to use the same thing. Same code you have to pass. It says you have to update different properties. To default, the data Pega provides us a rule called P by default. This naming convention will always be same, whichever rule starts with P by right, by PSPZ. All these rules are given by the Pega as a source code that you don't have to create yourself. You can extend it for the features, but creation is done by Pega. For example, currently we are working on the insurance case type. Pega will give us one default data type data transform. If you go to insurance, if you go to data model, if you expand the data transform, you will find one data transform P by default. This one, you remember, we have created. I will show you again. This is the one that we created, and Pega provides this one, P by default. At what point it is created? Suppose when I create this data, when I click on insurance. By the time I click on insurance, the data transform is executed. Before showing this UI and after clicking on this insurance in the middle, this data default will work. For example, I want to load everything. I don't want to fill this. What I will do now, let's go to P by default. I'll add here. Suppose I want dot first name. I'm hard coding it, but we can directly dynamically pass it from the operator ID. That whoever will log, it will directly hold that value. Makes sense. Task name. I provided these three values. Now let's create one case and see if this will come or not. You see it's a fit. Does it allow you override? You can override. Because we have addressed that part to remove the save. I will quickly explain that also. We have 3 minutes. Let's go to this insurance detail. Suppose if I want to save without clicking on save button, what I'll do, I'll go to the street. I think it's the example of insurance. And this one only we have to take because that section is not opening. For this one, I'll go to actions. I'll create an action set. I'll add an event. I'll add an event. But this time I will add an event for change. That means whenever there is a change happening on this particular field, this action set will be triggered. Now what should happen? It should post value. Post means it will post the value to the clipboard. That's it. Let me save this. Now I'll create one more case. See, every time it will default now. Because whenever you create a case, this data transform will be executed first. Always it will default this. Let's submit. I added currently for the street. I'll add something. Now I haven't saved. Let's save right. Let's go to Clipboard. PY work page, expand address, expand home. You see street is there. Because we have added an action set, that is the automated one which is posting for us. Posting this value to the clipboard. Wherever you add it, it will post it automatically whenever there is a change. Changes it. Copy what matters. Delete. Delete. I think we are done for the day with respect to all the topics. Peace, peace, peace. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.